Good evening and welcome to the next episode of Soul Speak with me. I'm Melissa Amos and I am very pleased today to be bringing you this episode, which is all about the law of attraction and manifestation. But today we're going to be talking about it with a little bit of a difference because, as some of you may know, my specialism and where I'm at is working very much with the Akashic records. So guess what? I'm going to be sharing with you how to align with that and just going deeper into the law of attraction. So I can see some of you are jumping on live. I'm going to give you a few minutes to get on whilst I just share this on my page. And speaking of sharing, if any of you would like to share this video, I would be very appreciative. And as always, anyone who shares this live or tags your friends, I will enter you into a prize draw so that you can win this time. You can win a space on Thursday's angel activation for Earth Day. So there is your opportunity. Just give me 2 minutes. Oh, and as always, ask your questions and come along and say hello, because I would love to know that you are here. I can see Jill has come on, but worryingly, it is not showing on my tablet. So, right, I've just shared it on my page. Let's see if we can put a little hack on here. Say hi. Ada, good evening, Melissa. I started loving Monday evenings. Well, that's awesome. I love them too. So, sorry I was a little bit late. I was just, I went for a little walk and got a bit carried away. So, law of attraction. I know we covered it last week and there were some really great questions and a really great conversation had started. And what we were talking about was very much about the kind of basis of the law of attraction and how, the understanding that thoughts become things, which is great, isn't it, in theory? But when we started to get deeper into it and some of the questions came in, we started touching on this idea of vibration and that how maybe vibration is the underlying energy, the underlying secret, the underlying direction that the law of attraction takes. So what would be really helpful for me is to know where you have had success with the law of attraction and where you have maybe not had success, because then we can really start to delve in and look at why, how, and what. Okay, I'm going to start with this theory while you are all warming up, because I know it sometimes takes a little time to get going. Bobby B, the vortex. Yes, I love the vortex. The Vortex is a series of books by Abraham Hicks, and I love the idea of how we all have this vortex around us. How I see it is like this hurricane or this tornado going on, and in this tornado there are all of our thoughts and all of our desires and all of our wants and all of our energies are sitting there, and we spoke last week about how they act as magnets. And the more energy we put into each of these balls or each of these energies, the more magnetized they become, and so the more likely we are to receive them. Hi, Pauline. Pauline is the manifesting queen because she's had some amazing results. So Pauline, it'd be awesome if you shared some of the things that you have enjoyed with that. I remember Pauline coming to one of my workshops and I think she was sitting there like, okay, I can give this a go. Like within a week she's like, I've manifested this, I've got this, I've got the caravan, I've done this. And she's awesome how she's brought all of that in. So I want to talk tonight a bit more about how we can get these balls aligned to who we are. Hi, Matt. Aligned to who we are, get them, more energized and help them along to attract the right things to us so that the magnet is turned on, I suppose, to the right frequency. So let's speak about it a little in terms of the Akashic records. So the Akashic records, what are they? The Akashic records are an energetic space, perhaps an energetic temple that houses all of our thoughts, our actions, our deeds, our wants, our behaviors, our experiences, everything. Literally everything that we have ever experienced or thought. And also it contains everything that that is in our future potential. That could be something that can come to us in the future. But also, and not everybody knows this, the Akashic records are a realm that contains the energy of everything too. So Pauline's saying here, doing a job she loves, the new car, work-life balance, all of these things, from the car to the job to even the work-life balance, or how Pauline experiences that, there is a record, there is an energetic imprint of this. And this is how I see it, that we've got the car and we've got the job and we've got the idea and we've got the podcast and we've got the creation, the art, the tarot deck, the whatever. And they're all floating around in like these little bubbles in the atmosphere. Okay? These are all like even the sunny weather, right? They're all there. All these possibilities are everywhere. Yet they need that human to come and ground it. Why? Because the human is who experiences these things. So what's that experiment with the cat? When they look at the cat in the box and they say, like, is the cat in the, if you don't know if there's a cat in the box, then how do we know there's a cat in the box? Or is the moon there when the moon isn't there? So, and that saying of, does a tree make a sound if it falls in the woods and nobody hears it? So there's something here about the human and how it grounds these bubbles, these potentials, these thoughts, okay? So here's my thinking with this. If this car or this job or this experience is all there, this idea even, and this is how I think creation comes in, but maybe we'll talk about that later, are all there in the atmosphere, in the vortex of, the planet, then my job is to align my vibration to the thing that I want or that I desire. Okay? So are we with me? There's all of these things, the car, the weather, the job, the idea, floating around in space. And until they are grounded, until they are experienced, until they are seen, observed, understood, until we have a word for it. My lights are going nuts, you can see that. Until we have a word for it, they're just going to stay in the atmosphere. So it takes me, you, a human, a collective, a consciousness to start to bring that into alignment. And when me and this thing are in alignment, then as if by magic, it comes together. Now, that all sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But sometimes you think, I really want this car, or I really want this job. Let's talk about the job. I really want this job. This job feels and looks and sounds like it is in alignment with me. And I'm going to do the positive affirmations. I'm going to set my sights on this. I'm going to take action to help this job become mine. And then the job doesn't become yours. You know, somebody else is offered that position, or you don't make the interview on time, or you say something and it really fluffs up your chances. So what's going on there? Here is my theory. When we are very specific about what we want, that job, that car, that house, that circumstance, we are potentially making assumptions about certain things. Whereas when we are when we come into ourselves and we know exactly what it is we want and how do we know that, we drop into how we want to feel. So I'm going to talk about Pauline with her job. She kind of had an idea of what it is that she wanted to do. And, you know, there were certainly some actions that she wanted to take. But it was a case of, okay, well, I know how I don't want to feel, because she was in a job that she didn't like. You know, I don't want to feel overworked and undervalued and stressed and, you know, all of these things. And I want to be able to work when I want to and all of this stuff. Now, she could have seen a job advertised over here, which in theory works perfectly for her. And if she'd have put all of her energy into that bubble, then yes, maybe they would have aligned. But maybe there's something in that or something in here where it's not the best fit. Maybe there's somebody over there who is perfectly aligned to this house, this job, this car. Right? Now, if over here you are very clear about how you want to feel, how you want to show up, what you want to experience, and that you are open to the universe to provide you with that experience, then this is what happens. Your vibration, which is solely made up on your thoughts, your experiences, your vibration, your potential, then this is where the magic happens. This is where the miracle occurs. The thing that matches exactly your requirements, which, let's be honest, isn't just about your conscious thinking. It's got all of that, you know, subconscious stuff, all of that energetic stuff, even the you know, the beliefs and the limiting beliefs and all of that. It's got your makeup, and as if by magnetic alignment, these things will come together with the right challenges for you. Because, and I think we'll talk about challenges in a minute, because it's not always plain sailing. Together with the right circumstances, maybe this will also help you meet the right person, and, you know, give you the opportunity to experience this. You know, for example, maybe the job that you're looking at is, oh, it's 5 days a week, it pays this money, blah, blah, blah. But the one that comes to you is 3 days a week and it pays a little less. However, wouldn't it be wonderful if this was the one that came aligned to you? Like, you know what? This feels good. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to start this. I'm going to take and embrace this opportunity. And then all of a sudden, something else comes up on those 2 days a week. The course, another position, you start your own workshop or your own hobby or whatever that fits in. And because you weren't so hung up that the universe didn't deliver this and it was this house, this job, this whatever that you wanted, actually you have opened up that potential that is made more fully into your alignment. Bobby says, I think the idea is to ask for X or its equivalent, as who says X is right for you, etc. Yeah. Now, I want to go a bit deeper than that. It's more about asking, why do we ever want anything? Like, whatever it is, the holiday, the handbag, the experience, the husband, the wife, the kid, like whatever it is, why do we want all of these things? ultimately, it's to make us feel a certain way. Because if we're honest with ourselves, if we come all the way back to the very beginning, to the core and the essence, it's to make us feel a certain way. We want that handbag to make us feel like we're stylish. We want that, healthy body to make us feel good about ourselves, to make us feel vibrant and to feel healthy. We want that car to make us feel sexy, right? We want that job to make us feel safe or to make us feel valued. Everything that we want, whatever it is, comes back to a feeling. And my proposition to you is, if we can get very clear on that feeling of how I want to be, then this will energize that vortex. And yes, we will have an idea that I know that I want to feel a certain way, right? I want to feel like I'm aligned, and I want to feel like I'm purposeful, and I want to feel like I'm inspiring. And the universe therefore isn't going to deliver to me necessarily that job in Bitcoin, which might give you the same thing, but it isn't aligned into my values. Isn't it funny that what I used to do was sell cars? Which, if you break it down, what was I doing there? I was working with people, check. What I wanted to do, it paid well, check. I drove a nice car, check. I built rapport with people, check. I helped people achieve what they wanted to achieve, come in and buy, they were working for Mercedes, they were, nice cars. I was ultimately helping make people's dreams come true. And they would walk out of that showroom or drive out of that showroom with their dream car. Now, if you break it down, there was a lot of that on paper which is similar to what I do now. But now I was a product of society, of I have to get a good job, it has to be this way, I have to work for somebody else, I have to do these processes. I had all of these beliefs in me which were all there spinning in my vortex. So for where I was then, it presented me with this opportunity, which, guess what, presented me with challenges, presented me with stress, which at the end of the day, when I took them, when I was aware enough or awake enough or somehow lucid in that moment to take those challenges and go, okay, well, how is that going to make me grow? How can I move that? How can I either decide that shows me what I don't want to help me understand what we do want, which is what we were talking about last week, but what opportunities came in, the people I met, the experiences that I had, even some of the training that I got, which then led me on to my next job, which ultimately then led to circumstances which ultimately led me to here and to where I am now. Mac, the Greeks called this genius, ideas, etc. floating around. It's our responsibility to be there, aware, and action it. Yes. Is it more about how you want to feel when the job, etc., rather than the specifics? Yes. Feeling plus need and desire equals alignment. Bobby, I'm so giving you a job. That is perfect. Feeling plus need and desire equals alignment. So let's go deeper than that, right? So I spoke about that job, which kind of technically at the time, I thought, yes, it's giving me the status, it's giving me the money, it's giving me the experience to connect with all of these different people and to go on this amazing training and to so many experiences there. But it wasn't... I spent half the time like, yes, this is awesome. And I spent the other time going, oh my gosh, like I can't do this. It's too stressful. I hated some of the, it was very competitive and, a lot of this stuff kind of just wasn't in my nature. So how do I know whether this is an alignment to me? We have these amazing things called feelings. And our feelings are our key to understanding whether or not something is in alignment with me. Because, okay, I do want to go deeper than that, because we can often have these subconscious fears, these limiting beliefs that are not true. But these are always an invitation to move through, to understand, to bring out of the shadows and into that, so that we can go, okay, I can vibrate a little higher. I can start to move up an octave or two or three. Because as you start to move up these octaves, these better, lighter, more vibrant experiences start to come to you. And yes, with all of those comes its own challenges and its own things. Why? And why is all this possible? Because the universe wants you to be rich and sexy and whatever? Not sure. But what it wants you to do is to become more vibrant, to become more aware, to become more conscious, and to become more knowing, deep knowing of the inner power that you hold. And how do you get this? If you were the universe and you were the teacher, how would you get your student to understand truly how powerful they are, and to understand truly that they have everything within them to move up through? Would you give them the fancy car and the husband and the everything just there on a plate just because they've said they wanted it? Or would you go, okay, the more you believe in this, the more you understand who you are, the more you understand what you are, and the more you understand your truth, the more I'm going to give you. The more you take away those blocks and those heavinesses and those bags that you're carrying around with all of this, crap in there, that's the things that you've believed, the stuff from past lives, the poverty consciousness, the beliefs, the collective conscious beliefs, the archetypes, all of this stuff that we all hold and going with us. It's not there to go, oh, you got bad karma, so you've got to go through that. No, it's there to go, okay, what's the next step? How can I move up through this? How can I become bigger than this? Because all of us, however, enlightened, or however high up the spiritual ladder we feel that we've come, we've all got it. We've all got the stuff in us. And we spoke last week, Adrian, I'll come back to that question. We spoke last week about the steps, what was it called? I was going to get it up for you. This is because I prepare by having a walk rather than prepare by actually making notes. But do you know what's funny? I talk about my old job, that one of the things that one of my old bosses said to me was, fail to prepare and prepare to fail. Because those of you that know me know that I love to wing it. And not wing it, I'm taking inspired action, right? I can see there's someone here watching this that worked where I used to work. So you will understand exactly what I'm speaking about. The feelings ladder. I just want to get that up for you. Hopefully it will bring me the right thing. It will. There we go. Thank you very much. Let me talk about that in a minute. Let me just see these comments. My husband needs a miracle, and I said, you need a miracle, okay? And I went into manifesting, and it happened, but not exactly as we thought. Can we manifest for someone else? Sure, of course we can manifest for someone else. However, we need to understand, I speak about this alignment. We need to understand what it is that we're doing, because the person that we are manifesting for also needs to be in alignment with that possibility. Because, we have this amazing thing called free will, and that helps us, that allows us to accept or reject, right? So yes, if we are manifesting for someone else, for the good, right? For the raising of the vibration of them and of the planet, and maybe of a combined goal, then absolutely, why not? But you must always ask yourself when we're doing these things, am I affecting their free will? And it also depends how you do it. I am not one for going into their psychic space, and I'm not one, by, going into their energy and going, what do they need, without their permission. And I'm not one for doing spell work on people that don't know. I think that your greatest power is within yourself. When we're talking about family members, especially, our spouse, our children, we're all here in these different levels of awareness. And of course, why can't we bring our skills to the table? Just like maybe if you had a picture that needed framing and you were rubbish at woodwork and your husband was great at woodwork, maybe one day when you're out at work, he would make you a frame, right? You wouldn't be angry at him for doing that. You'd be grateful for what they've done. So I'm going to say yes, absolutely, it's fine. Just make sure, A, you're not going into their energetic space without permission, and that you're doing it, and I know you, Ada, I know that's what you're doing, for the good. Okay, I think we all make sense so far. And again, if you have any questions, just throw them in the comments. If you have a private question and you don't want it to come up here, I have got my phone here, so send it to my private messenger and it will ping up and I can read it out for you if that's something that you want. Okay, so I started to talk about feelings and how feelings can help us, that feelings are all a vibration, that as we raise, our job is to raise our vibration ultimately. This is why manifestation works. Because as we are happy, as we feel joy and freedom and love and expression and empowerment, we are vibrating at a higher level. And the universe is going, oh, I want her to be rich. The universe is saying, I want her to be powerful and joyful and all of those things. And in this day and age, money is an exchange. And we need money to eat and, buy our stuff and to experience things. We need it. Yeah, maybe one day there'll be communities come up where we don't, but this is where we are now. So, the universe wants us to raise our vibration. How our vibration raises is very much up to the individual and their life lessons and their life plans. So this is where I'm going with this. It's very easy for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, I can manifest the whatever. I can manifest that thing that's going to make me feel happy. Why? Because my vibration is that where I'm optimistic, that I'm full of hope, that I understand that I have trust in the universe that it's going to help me. So therefore, because I experience this and I believe this, then it's easier for somebody who experiences that to start to climb up this ladder. However, if I am, and trust me, I've been there, been sitting there in anger, in rage, in jealousy, in guilt, in hopelessness, then it's very hard to go from hopeless, worry, guilt and anger to go into love and joy and whatever. So what do? There's a process that we have to go through. Now that doesn't mean that you can't manifest the parking space, the car or whatever if you ever feel those feelings. That's not what I mean. But it's that dominant force. It's where we are. Think of us as a vibrational as a vibrational being. And those of you who work with the chakras or know about the chakras knows that each chakra is holds an energetic blueprint. And actually, my belief is as we ascend, we are working up and through these chakras and through these energy centers. So we start off with the base, which is the heaviest, the densest, the red. Yeah, why does red come up first in the rainbow? Because it's the densest color, right? It's the densest vibration. So in there, we're talking about safety. I just need somewhere to live. I just need a home over my head. I just need food on the table. That's all I need right now. And when we achieve that, then we can move up to something more, what I want to start to create. I want to start to, get to know myself better. And then it's like I want to start to, feel my power. We start to move up these chakras. And it's the same with these feelings. So if any of you here are sitting here, whose the dominant feeling is that of guilt or hopelessness or powerless, then we can start to move up through that ladder. How? Not by high vibing your way out, not by going, I am, whatever. So let me just talk about this just for a minute. And I know, Bobby, you're watching, so you will keep me back on track if I go off on a tangent. If we are... No, it's gone. Don't know what I was going to say. I'll come back to it. So if we want to move up through the... you did a good job, Bobby, getting me back on track without even saying anything. It's like, do not go off on a tangent. It's already there. So if we're sitting there in, insecurity, what do? I remember what I was going to say now. There's no point going into, I am powerful, I am strong, which, yes, it can help. We can do the moves, we can do, this is why sometimes yoga's so powerful. We can stand there like in warrior or, in these heart-opening poses to change our vibration, to lift us through. But why doesn't me sitting there going, I am powerful, when I'm feeling powerless, is because the vibration doesn't match. Because you've got a whole big ball there in your vortex going, no, you're not, no, you're not. And so if you come away from saying, I am powerful, and feeling less powerful, then all you are doing is feeding that powerlessness state. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So what do? We understand, we work through it. Yes, we do the yoga poses. Yes, we allow the energy to move through us. We start to understand how we want to go from the feeling, let's say, of hatred, of just hatred, that pure, I despise that person, for example. I despise my surroundings. We might want to move up. So I've got here the, oh gosh, it's disappeared. I've got here the spiral thing. So here we are in hatred. And it's suggesting that the next level up is jealousy, anger, and rage. So what does that mean? In terms of just vibration, hatred, if you think about hatred, it gets you stuck. It's very dense. You end up, it feeds itself, right? And so you end up hating more. And then that can turn into a feeling of powerlessness. It's like, it can start to spiral down. So the next level up from that is jealousy and anger. Because, stay with me here, if you are angry at somebody, can you feel that is a more dynamic energy than hatred? And people, I know as kids, right, don't get angry, push it down. But actually, if we can move up from hatred to anger, what we are doing is we are lifting ourselves out of that downward spiral. Because it's easier to go from hatred to anger, and from anger to doubt, and from doubt to frustration, and then frustration to pessimism, and then from pessimism to maybe a little bit of positivity. Right? Is that not easier than going from guilt to joy? Which for me is where a lot of these teachings fall short. Because they end you feeling that you should be aiming for joy, and that's the only thing. Yes, aim for joy. Please aim for joy. But that's maybe the destination. That's what you're aiming for. But actually, there's a whole ladder to move up through there. So when we said, but you have to believe, desire, feelings, and belief must align. Exactly. And like the affirmation is the tip of the iceberg, but below it is all the heavy, uncomfortable feelings we need to work through. Exactly. We can have the affirmations, and I'm not going to say that the affirmations don't work. So let me talk to you about this in terms of the Akashic records, okay? So this was an image that I was given when I was, you see these lights? When I was making, when I was working, I must have been on my Akashic records creating the future workshop that I ran. That I can see some of you are here that were on that. This was the image that they gave me. That if we have let's say that this belief, that I am powerless, is a volume of books. It's like the Harry Potter series of 7 big books. Because you have had all these experiences through this life, through past lives, through things that you've witnessed, through the media, through all of these influences that have gone, there we go, you are just powerless, there's nothing that you can do. So you have got these huge volumes of books vibrating in your energetic space going, no, you're not powerful. And then you stand there and you go, I am powerful. What's going on? Yes, at that moment, yes, perhaps you are changing your physiology. If you believe it. There's this whole fake it till you make it, which I do get for certain circumstances. I think it can definitely work in areas, but stay with me. I'm going, I am powerful. I say it once, not sure I believe it. What have I done? I've written one sentence there in the book. And that one sentence is now competing with the attention or the energy vibration of these 7 volumes of no, you're not. So I've got 2 choices here. I can either keep on saying, I am powerful, I am powerful, I am powerful, I am powerful, and really move in it, go in the mirror, work on that stuff, right? So I'm powerful, and then the little voice goes, no, you're not. And you go, okay. What's going on there? What's coming up for me? And then start to rewrite, I remember that time when I was powerful, and you can write that in there. So you can say I am powerful 10,000 times, and then what that will do, it will start to make that bigger and bigger and bigger, which then maybe has a chance to compete with these 7 volumes of books, right? But what tends to happen is we do it for a week. And then we look around and we're like, I'm not really seeing much change. I haven't gone to joy, to abundance. The £1 million has not winged its way into my bank account with my, trophy wife and my Ferrari or whatever it was that you're after. Right? So then we go, oh, well, I'm powerless after all. And then what do? We're just writing another little sentence in the end of that book. So how do we compete with all of that? How do we go, okay, what's going on here? This was another image that I was given very recently, literally a couple of weeks ago, and I love this. So you can imagine these 7 volumes of books. Now imagine that those 7 volumes of books are all, or each volume is written from one experience. So one thing happened. What could that thing be? I got done over by somebody. Yeah. The world hates me, whatever. Something happened, and that you've got a chapter there or a page there of this experience that happened to you. And then what do we do as humans? We go back into it, we talk about it, we tell our friends, we moan about it, we put it on social media, and then people comment, and then we do things aren't okay, and then 25 people message you and go, what happened? And then you're reliving it. So that one paragraph that happens suddenly becomes a chapter. And then before you know it, you're really spiraling down this, this spiral of fear, of anger, of powerlessness, of worry, of rage, of jealousy, of hatred, moving down the spiral. And each time you're doing that, you are creating more words, more energy in this volume. So what do? We can go through our books. We can go, okay, well, that was an experience that happened. Let's look at all the footnotes. Let's look at all the reviews and all the comments and all of the, like, I don't know, when we're at school and we do a literature, we do our English lit and we're like, this is what happened here. And we're delving and diving into it. You get the what do they call them? Like the notes that come with the book. Get rid of the notes. We just go through them and go, okay, is that true? Is that true for what the world is now? And therefore we start to rewrite that energy configuration, that energy makeup. What's this got to do with the law of attraction? The more we come back into the essence of what happened, what we experienced, and then we move through the vibration of that. So we go from, I hate that person, I hate that thing, to, well, why do I hate them? Or maybe I wish in some circumstances I could have been more like them. Maybe I wish that I could have spoken up. Or maybe I wish that I had the power, the job that they had, the wife that they had, the experience they had, the money that they had. And maybe then that leads to, well, maybe I could do it. And then maybe that leads to, I don't know, I'm worried, what if I fail, what if I do all of that? Maybe I'm not very good at this, so what we're doing here, we're moving to worry, irritation, frustration, pessimism. And then something happens as we move up through this heavy density, as we come to this kind of middle point. And once we come to this middle point, which in this, it's gone again. Whenever I pick it up, it goes. Something in that. When you get to this middle point, which in here they call boredom, you start to come back up the spiral. And then this is where you see yourself in this energy vortex and your balls start to spin. Because these vibrations here are, how do I say it? So these ones are heavy, but they have less power. So I'll talk about magnets. So you can imagine those, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but those, something like hematite, right? Which isn't like really that magnetic, but it's quite a heavy energy, but it has some magnetism in it. These ones up here are vibrating really hard and they're active. They're full of light. And so they can bring more light experience to you. These experiences are stronger, which is why sometimes these positive affirmations work if you delve into this. Can you post the page, please, of the stages to raise your vibration? Yeah. It's called the ladder of emotions. So you can certainly look it up because I may forget, and this will go on some different platforms, but yeah, it's very good. It's called the ladder of emotions. And I think this derives from the Abraham Hicks teachings. The joy-only teachings are akin to a medical school professor teaching their students to treat their patients with band-aids. I love that. You are getting a job with Bobby. Not so we shouldn't focus on joy in our lives. Joy is a biggie. Like joy and freedom. Freedom in here is the top. It's where we're going. It's where we're heading. And if I rewind you back to somewhere near the beginning of this recording, when I said that, why does the law of attraction work? Why does the universe conspire to help us? We hear this, right? The universe is conspiring to help you. The universe has your back. Why? Because the universe thinks, yeah, she deserves a Ferrari. She deserves this. She deserves that. No, It's because we want our purpose here. The reason why we are, in my belief, the reason why we are humans living here on this planet is so that we can raise our vibration, which sometimes means that we have to go through a whole load of shit to help us move through that. Because sometimes we need that hardship, that negativity. Why? Because that's where we're going. No, because that will give us like the mud. That saying, no mud, no lotus. Sometimes we need that fertile ground to help us delve in, to give us that reason to go, I want to look at those 7 books and go and see if I need them anymore. But you need to kind of read them or at least look at them to decide whether or not you're gonna, keep them pride of place as your reference material, or if they're going to go into the incinerator, or at least if they're just going to become an abridged version of that. I feel like I've just been doing a sermon. Okay. Any questions on that big amount of information? I felt that energy all come through. This is why I don't make notes. This is why when I was told fail to prepare and prepare to fail, I do prepare, but I just prepare energetically, because the information that needs to come through will need to come through for you. And sometimes if I move off here and there and everywhere, that's probably why. So what experiences have you had? What do you want to know? We've got about 10 minutes just to delve into a little bit more. I'm just looking back in the comments. So write that in. Okay, look at that. It's like some miracle. I've managed to get through everybody's comments on here. Okay. How does this affect the journey of our soul? Mac, I love your questions. That's the deepest questions. How does this affect our journey of our soul? Well, the law of attraction or our experience? Let me feel into that question. Or if you've got a something specific you want to ask, then let me know. How does this affect the journey of our soul? So this is how I see it. That we start off in our incarnation, because that's, I guess, what we are concerned with in the earth plane. We start off here as this ball of energy, which is maybe just open to experience. I'm not sure. Maybe we start our incarnation, our soul's life, our spirit with, with things that we're going to work through. I don't know. But let's say that we start off, just kind of basic. We start off in this, I don't know if that's true, actually, but stay with me. Let's see where this goes. We start off in the red. Yeah, this feels good. We start off in the red. So like in terms of our chakras, we start in the base. We start with, okay, my incarnation here is to help me feel safe. To help me understand that I have the, the resources that are available to me to put a roof over my head, to feed me, to, survive, the survival thing. It then comes into, okay, now I've survived, I am going to create community. So I'm going to maybe find a partner, I'm maybe going to co-create, I'm going to find a community, I'm going to set up this. And then it moves into, so that's the sacral, the next energy up. And then we move into the solar plexus energy. So we move up a vibration. So think of it in color. We start to move up and then it's like, okay, so how can I create? How can I be? How can I make myself here in the world? And we're constantly moving up and it starts to come into love. How can I give as well as receive? Then how can I, express my truth and start to, create vibration from here. So we're constantly moving up through this energetic blueprint, if you like, with the idea not of becoming the richest, most successful, prettiest, whatever, but to find that joy, to find that light, to rekindle the truth of who we are. Because this is how I see it. This was given to me once a while ago. That if you imagine that us as souls, you know, they say that we are all one, this unity thing that you keep hearing about. This is one of the ways I see this. That we are all facets of this huge ball, this spinning, another vortex, this spinning vortex of light. And if you could look at this ball, on the outside, it looks like a rainbow, right? And they're like circular, red, orange, yellow, green. And then there in the very center is our essence. In that very center in there is that pure vibration, that pure white light, which is somehow what we are aiming to move towards. And that pure white light is that energy of bliss, of freedom, of expansion, of, you know, and some of us have had that experience, that spiritual experience that's just come through. So our job here as humans is to, and it might not all be in one incarnation, right? I think we've been here thousands of times, and we may come here thousands of times more, who knows? But it's to move up through there. So how does this affect the journey of our soul? For some of us, maybe in this incarnation, it'll be like, okay, well, I've done all of this, and now my job is to start to move into, you know, the higher forces. That doesn't mean there's nothing down there that needs to be looked at and dissipated or moved, because you know what happens when you move into the white? What does the white contain? The white is a reflection of all the colours, right? This white, why you can see this as white, and isn't it interesting that I chose white to wear today? The reason why white is white is because it absorbs all of the colour, right? So we start from the black, from the void, from the nothingness, which reflects all the colour. And maybe our job is to bring in all of the experiences from all of those vibrations, not to get stuck in one. Well, this is my reality, so this is how it always is to be. But to move our way up through it, into the light, into the white, into the bliss and the joy. And you know what? If that means I'm going to have some good experiences, if that means I'm going to find the community that I love, the job that I love, the picnic that I've booked, the sun's going to be out and I'm going to find that table in the fully booked restaurant, and you know, all of these quirks and these in the parking spaces and the jobs and the cars and all of these material things, which, let's face it, is just an energy that somebody's going to claim. Our job is to come into alignment with the things that we are. And if those things are going to help us move up and move through, it doesn't mean you have to be rich. Maybe our last incarnation, coming into the white, we have nothing. But spiritually, we are the most abundant that we are. I think for me, this all depends on where you are in this journey. And our souls, I believe, are super clever. And we prepare ourselves to come into the situations and the scenarios, not to punish us because we've done good or bad in the past, but to help us move through the mud and become the lotus, and eventually find ourselves, maybe in this lifetime, maybe beyond. But the quickest way is to spiral up. So hopefully you've got an idea of what to do and how to do it. And hopefully, I forget everything that I've said, but hopefully some of the things in there are fairly practical. And let me put in the, I'm just going to type it in, the ladder of emotions. So it's in there, and you can just Google that and it will come up. Okay, so that takes us nicely to 8 o'clock. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's session. Any questions or anything that comes up, let me know. What I would like to discuss next week is past lives. Because I think it's very linked to what we've been talking about today. So let's get together next Monday, same time, and talk about past lives. And I must say that on Thursday this week, if you're watching this live, so on the 22nd of the 4th, it is Earth Day. Why is that important? We live on the earth, and the earth will support us and nourish us and give us all these things. And I'll tell you one thing, if we align to the earth, if we align to her energy, and we bring ourselves into that alignment, our vibration, our manifesting ability, all of that will become easier. Why? Because it's more aligned. We're giving back. We're making, remember I said last week about making things bigger than you. So if you are around this Thursday, we are going to be working with one of my angelic activations this time, and I've received some snippets already with Gaia. We're going to be having a Gaia activation aligning with that. So if you are around, then the details are all on my page. Drop me a message and I can send them over to you. Otherwise, thank you for joining me and thanks for your support. It'd be lovely to see you all, and I will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. And if you'd like to work with me again, just send me a message and we can get that hooked up for you. In the meantime, many blessings and keep on raising that vibration. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.